So now we're going to talk about the onboarding process. So now the interview is done, the candidate is shortlisted. Now you have to get that candidate onboarded. So now let's start with a real truth in HR that nobody tells you before you join the profession. Recruitment is only half the job. The real chaos begins after the candidate accepts the offer. So suddenly now the HR becomes the one person army. He or she is drafting offer letters, coordinating documents, creating employee files, preparing the onboarding checklist, scheduling inductions, sending reminders, and also chasing managers for laptops, ID, emails, access, and everything. And ensuring that everything is ready on day one. So there's a lot of chaos, you're doing a lot more. Now it feels like running a marathon actually with no finish line. And the biggest pain point, HR operations and onboarding takes tons of time, lot of coordination, lot of communication. It involves a lot of paperwork and are extremely repetitive in nature. So manual offer letter formatting, copy pasting the checklist, editing the policies, creating the SOP from scratch, or even putting down the employee records and everything. So by the end of the day, HR feels more like it feels more like an admin job rather than a strategic role. But with AI, the 70 to 80% of the HR operations and onboarding can be done effortlessly. With AI, you can generate offer letters instantly, you can build onboarding checklist in seconds, you can draft company policies in minutes, you can organize employees documentation smoothly, you can save hours every week and shift your focus to real HR work, that is culture building, development, strategy and policies. So now how do we do that? So we're going to talk about that step by step. So the first point is generate offer letters automatically. So simple, fast and zero stress. Creating offer letters manually can be painful. You have to deal with different formats, different designations, salary structures, and any risk around that, any mistake that you're doing in the offer letter is a huge risk because it is a very important documentation that the new joinee is also relying on, reading every detail, and also the senior management is also relying on that. So it is a risky document, so it has to be drafted with no errors. So AI can create professional structured offer letters in seconds. So we have a prompt, you can use this prompt. Write an offer letter for a sales executive joining our Dubai office. Include salary, benefits, prohibition, terms, joining date, working hours, and confidentiality clause, keeping the tone formal and company friendly. So you can use a prompt like this and it is going to give you a well drafted offer letter. Now what happens when you are using AI for such purposes? The spelling errors are zero, grammatical errors are zero, the language is professional, it looks clean. So try doing that. And also if you feel that the output that the AI has given you is not is something that you are not really not something that you want, you need some changes, go ahead and do that customization. You can go ahead and write your like we've given you some examples, like if you want you can write rewrite in simpler English. If you feel the English is very difficult to understand or you feel that it is not formal, you can just go and put in a prompt like make it more formal. Or you forgot about mentioning about a clause, you can go and say add a relocation clause, add so and so country's label or reference. And also if you want you can convert the letter into a PDF style format. So you have the letter in your chat box. If you want it in PDF format, you can say you can tell AI, can you please convert it into the PDF style format. It is going to give you the PDF file, you can download it and then you can send it to the new joinee. But rename it, just giving you a reminder, the file name has to be renamed because they have certain algorithms and the file names is pretty weird. So this can actually help you save a lot of time. When you are using AI to draft offer letters, it can do, like if you're drafting 5 offer letters, it is not going to take you more than 10 to 12 minutes, like maximum 15 minutes if you're new. Once you get used to it, it's much faster. So now we're going to talk about the automated onboarding checklist. So now the offer letter has been rolled out. Now what do we do about the onboarding checklist? The first day experience, making sure that the first day experience is nice and smooth, because a great onboarding experience predicts the higher retention, higher engagement, faster productivity, and better culture alignment. So you want that experience to be nice and clean and hassle free for both the parties. And onboarding checklist can take time. AI can generate complete onboarding checklist for any role in seconds. So if you're hiring for a sales role but you do not know what should be the list of onboarding checklist that has to be included to be sent to the new joinee, you are confused, you are not sure, you can write in a prompt that create a detailed onboarding checklist for a new HR assistant joining a mid-sized company. Include the pre-joining task also. Now if you're hiring for a HR role, the tasks are usually defined, but then if you're hiring for a technical role, the task can change as per the project basis, but for the HR usually it is defined. So you can say that include the pre-joining task, day 1 task, week 1 task, first month action terms. Like, this is completely optional if you want that to be in the onboarding formality. Now AI will generate the document collection, the IT setup, training schedule, compliance, tools, access, and everything. You will get all the information. So try using this prompt. Now this prompt can be of course used for if you are onboarding a software engineer, sales executive, finance intern, or even a remote employee. So AI will do the customization perfectly for whatever role you are hiring for. So this is going to give you a clear picture about so that you do not miss out on any document that is very important for onboarding, and maybe you have missed out on that. So you can check with AI. Now we're going to talk about the SOP and the policy creation using AI. So whenever we are onboarding a new joinee, we have to give them the company policies and the HR policies, the do's and don'ts. So SOP is nothing but the standard operating procedures, and policies are of course crucial. But writing them manually is long and boring and often repetitive. So and AI is going to make this unbelievably easy. So the prompt for SOP is like, write an SOP for an employee leave application process, include purpose, scope, responsibilities, procedure, exceptions. Keep it simple and HR friendly. So these little liners like, keep it simple and HR friendly, keep it in compliance to the labor law, keep it non-biased, keep it gender friendly, keep it diversity friendly. These lines will give AI a lot of clarity, because usually what happens when you are hiring for a sales role, as per the historical data, the AI is built in such a manner that it will somehow think that for a sales role it has a certain inclination towards the male employees, towards the male applicants. So this is not your fault. This is how it has been built, because this is what the historical data all over the web is saying, that sales job is mainly for the male candidates. So somehow you will see AI will start giving you results wherein they are giving a preference to male candidates. So we have to stop that. So what we are going to do is we're going to keep these liners, make it don't make it gender bias, keep it diversity friendly. The role is open to all nationalities. So give a prompt like this that the AI understand that it's very inclusive, and so they do not make judgments based on any historical data. And there's nothing to worry also. When you start using AI, you start seeing the result of the prompt, you will automatically start learning, and you will start understanding what is working, how is it responding, what has to be included, what has to be excluded. So it is all about practice. So now after putting this prompt, AI will give you the complete SOP, structured section, policies. In fact, you can do this for any SOP. If you are onboarding, if you are offboarding somebody also, performance review, any travel expenses that the employee has to redeem, they are claiming, any attendance report, employee conduct, remote work policies, anything, any SOPs around any of these domains, if you want, it is going to give you. So now, for example, if you are creating a policy for work from home, you can write in a prompt like, create a company policy for work from home, including eligibility, working hours, communication expectations, and security guidelines. AI is going to draft like a legal consultant, but in simple HR language. Now, employee documentation made easy with AI. What do we mean by this is that, employee documentation is an important part of the HR responsibility, because you are dealing with personal files, ID proofs, contact information, past previous company records and everything. So how do you manage that? How do you keep it structured so that whenever you need, and if you are being asked for a certain information, you are not lost, you know where to go and where to find it. So AI is going to help you organize the files, extract data, fill forms, generate checklists and everything. The prompt like this: create a list of all documents required for a new employee file in UAE, including mandatory and optional documents. Now, if you are hiring for India and you for a sales role, you should know what documents the new joinee has to get in, right? So just you can take the help of AI. You can put in this prompt, and AI will give you the possible list of documents that is required for that particular role to come into your company. Then of course you can read and filter. If you think something is not relevant, to your company, and your management is good with not having that document, you can move ahead. But then it will give you a complete picture so that you do not miss out on something important, because we are humans, we might miss out on something, but with AI doing that, the chances of missing out on any important documentation is negligible. So to summarize the employee records, now summarize this employee's file and highlight the missing documents. Now if you have a full folder from an employee coming in with the passport details, the Aadhaar card details, or the Emirates ID, or whatever information that they have given you, you can just put it that I have the passport, I have this, now what other information should I ask for, what is missing. So it will give you that list also. So these are simple tips and tricks where to use AI for the documentation after the onboarding also, just to keep you as an HR more structured and more planned and a more process oriented. Okay, so now we're going to wrap this section up. So what we've learned is that AI does not make recruitment easier, it makes the entire HR function smoother, faster and more accurate. Okay, from offer letters to onboarding, from SOPs to documentation, you have the tools to automate everything. That admin task that was taking away a lot of time from that was demanding a lot of time, lot of hours during your day, now that can be taken care by HR. So what are you ultimately gaining? You are gaining your time, you are gaining your energy, you are getting your focus, your confidence, because you are now actually making more strategic decisions rather than doing these admin tasks. So now you are no longer stuck in repetitive admin tasks, because the processes are standardized, onboarding is professional, documentation is error free, HR becomes more efficient and respected. Okay.